Hi everyone and welcome back to Star Trek Bridge Commander. I'm sorry for the 2 or 3 day delay in producing this video, but can I just say toothache is an absolute bitch, and that is why I haven't been producing videos.
Excellent job locating the Cardassian command facility, Captain. We must move quickly to take advantage of this information. Well done. Commander Willis will be your mission coordinator. He is an expert on Cardassian tactics and will be leading the ground portion of this operation. You will coordinate with him after meeting with his ship, the USS Kittimer. Liu out.
Incoming
Welcome
message
back.
from Commander Willis.
Hello, Captain. It'll be a pleasure to work with you again. Intelligence reports the Cardassians are still putting out brush fires from our counterstrikes. This should work in our favor. With luck, the target won't be too tough to crack. But they do know we're coming, so we can expect them to reinforce their position. Once we've arrived in the target area, Sovereign will engage the perimeter defenses and the Prendle system. While these forces are busy, the rest of the strike team will proceed to the Cardassian command post. Captain, you must prevent any Cardassian ships from detaining the Kittimer. Once the assault has begun, every second will count, and my ship can't afford to become engaged.
So yeah, about that whole not too tough to crack thing. Anyone want to bet that it's going to be a little tougher than we think to crack? But anyway, we have the Zukov there, and we have the Devore with us as well, and we're gonna want the Devore's firepower because, well, the Devore's quantum torpedoes are gonna make things a little bit easier for us. This is probably the toughest mission that we've faced so far, but considering we're getting pretty deep into the game here, this is something that is to be expected. So let's see what we can see when we get to the Prendle system.
2 Cardassian Galores have just entered the system, sir. They are turning to engage.
Red alert.
Well, these 2 ships aren't really much of a challenge, and no, that's not what I meant by saying that this mission is going to be tough. For those of you who've seen my Star Trek Final Unity LP, and I imagine that's everyone who subscribed to my channel, considering that each of those vids has something like 5 times as many views as I have subscribers, I would say that that LP has probably been seen by all my subscribers. This mission would probably be the equivalent of the point where you go up against the Chodak, you know, where you're really happy, you're doing well in the game, then all of a sudden the game goes, right, it's time to actually get real. That's this mission. So anyway, I once again have forgotten to do the whole increased weapons thing, and you will see that a lot from me. It's like, just deal with it. One thing that I have taken the liberty of doing while I have been on my 2 or 3 day break for toothache and ingesting as much ibuprofen as I can have without poisoning myself, I have actually downloaded Star Trek Online again due to the new expansion that's come out. I also decided to have a peek at what had caused all the forums to explode about it as well, because there's been a lot of, shall we say, negative press regarding this expansion. And to be honest, I can't really see why at the moment, but I've not got that deep into the game. Shock horror, someone who makes a game wants to make money, especially in the free-to-play environment. Have you guys ever heard of EA? And certainly I'm not, personally I'm not even using a fleet ship. I'm using a straight-up tier 5 ship with no upgrades. I'm doing that was a rubbish shot with photon torpedoes. It's like, I'm doing borderline 10k DPS. There's really, I'm not, and I'm still enjoying the content quite a lot, and I'm actually glad there's something new in the game. So I'll move on to that a little bit later at the end of Bridge Commander LP. I'll probably start doing a few Star Trek Online videos just to mix them in, and what I'll do is I'll bring my thoughts once I've collected them. What I'll do is I'll do a Tour the Galaxy or something like that, and while I'm doing that I will go over my thoughts on what I think of certainly the Delta Rising expansion and the changes.
This is the Kittimer. We are facing heavy resistance in Tezel 2. We require your immediate assistance.
Set course for Tezel 2, sir? Yes, Captain?
And in the classic symptom of this is going to be a cakewalk, it looks like everything's gone horribly wrong. Anyway, those two Galores didn't really put up too much of a fight and we're in pretty good shape, so let's head in and see what's happening to the Kittimer. So we're at Tezel 2, let's see if there's anything interesting happening here. Ooh, that's a couple of ships.
Glad you can make it, Sovereign. These Cardassians are making it difficult to carry out our mission. Once we dispatch these ships, we can continue to Tezel 1.
Sir, we are draining their
Captain
top
Yi,
shield.
I did not expect to see you back in action so soon.
With things the way they are, Starfleet did not hesitate in assigning me
Captain,
my
we have
cruising
collapsed
ship.
their bottom shield.
He is inheriting a good name. It's been some time since we worked together. I look forward to it.
Could you please put some emotion into your voice? Okay, I'll let you off. So they've given the ex-captain of the Dauntless, who lost his ship in record time, they've given him a Nebula-class ship, I think, in the Kittimer. So a bit of a downgrade from a Galaxy-class ship, but I guess that's what you get for losing your ship so quickly. The Dauntless really did get massacred, didn't it? Anyway, torpedoes away. My aim is getting worse and worse as this mission goes on. I think I'm becoming a little bit cocky with what I'm supposed to be doing here. So burning through, and I think we're okay. Yeah, I'm going to take this Keldon on because it's really not much of a threat. I'm going to get the Devore to burn it down. The Zukov is an ambassador class starship, so therefore it's useless. It's a 45-year-old design by the time of this game, so it's probably a match for a Keldon maybe, but anything beyond that it's just going to get stomped. So really not great, you know. For those of you who do play Star Trek Online, you'll see the Ambassador is actually a decent ship. Same with the Excelsior, you know. That's one of the things which kind of blows the immersion out of Star Trek Online for some people, is that, you know, you have a Sovereign class ship actually playing second fiddle to an Excelsior for many built in that game, so not really great. And oh god, night night Keldon. So with that little force out of the way, let's proceed in and we'll see what the Cardassians have for us at Tezel 1.
That's the last of them, sir.
Sensors show no signs of Cardassian ships around Tezel 1.
Let's hope they're busy elsewhere. Incoming message from Commander Willis, sir. We are to proceed to Tezel 1. Course laid in. Yes, Captain.
Loading quantum torpedoes, sir.
Captain, the Kittimer will orbit Tezel 1 and begin landing the ground forces. You are to supply cover until the operation is complete. With any luck, we'll be done before the Cardassians know what hit them.
No, that wasn't a mistake with me loading quantum torpedoes. Those things are going to be very, very necessary. And the Zukov is absolutely pounded, so I think that she's pretty much done for. And the Kittimer's throwing shuttles at the planet, and that's what we're aiming for, to take over this Cardassian head
The Kittimer
base.
reports all shuttles away.
Nice effect on the planet's atmosphere there.
Captain, 2 more Cardassian ships
Cancel
have just
yellow
entered the
alert.
system.
We have to keep them away from the Kittimer.
Well, 2 Cardassian ships isn't exactly going to be a serious problem, so let's get rid of those. And now I finally get to unload my quantum torpedoes on
have acknowledged the command.
on a Cardassian ship, and I get to see their effect. I want a galore, really, that's unnecessary. In fact, I think I'm just going to beam them, yeah. Don't really think there's much of a need for quantum torpedoes. So our last shuttles reach the planet, and I think that's going to end up being a... hopefully they will take over the base and then we can get out of here. This is how weak beams are compared to torpedoes. So one volley of torpedoes would probably destroy this ship, but I'm trying to play it a little bit safe.
Hull integrity at
Captain,
75%.
scanners detect an unknown vessel entering the battle. Sir, it's a Kessock ship.
The Cardassians aren't going to just lie down and let us have this base.
We are being hailed. On screen.
Captain, we'll take the Cardassians. The Sovereign is better suited to engage the Kessock aggressor.
Oh boy, is she ever. Meet the Kessock. Now,
Orders acknowledged, sir.
the Kessock light cruiser, which is what this is, it's a pretty complete ship. It has powerful shielding, it has a cloaking device, it has very powerful weaponry and its positron beams, and as you can see there, it just took a full load of quantum torpedoes into the upper shield and it didn't really do anything. Kessock vessels have one weakness though, and it just got exploited by the Devore, I think there. Kessock ships have no ventral shielding whatsoever. It's one of the weakest in the game, and that is their only weakness.
We have a serious tactical problem here, Captain. I'm showing a large number of vessels entering the area. They appear to be Kessock, sir.
More Kessock ships?
They are on an intercept course.
Okay, so not one Kessock ship's in the area. We have at least three. I think it's three Kessock and a Keldon. So basically it's me and the Devore ganging up on one Kessock at a time each, and hopefully that will be enough to knock them down. Now basically at this point we are just in a survive as long as you possibly can situation. And this is an area where you really, and I mean really, cannot leave this fight severely, because if you do, he will just literally sit static for a lot of it, and if he does that, the Kessock will rip you to pieces with those positron torpedoes. So it's really, well, positron beams and positron torpedoes, you really need to stay away from those. The positron torpedo on the Kessock ship is exceedingly slow, so if you keep your speed up you should be fine. And the one other thing the Kessock do, I mean, if they cloak right in front of you, that's also a good thing, because they drop the shields like any other ship that has a cloaking device. But the one advantage, or at least an advantage that you can have over the Kessock, is simply that they don't have the weapons coverage that a Federation vessel does. You can see that a Federation vessel can fire from almost any angle, whereas the Kessock do have blind spots, and it's best to aim for those blind spots. I'm firing at the warp engines here because they're more off to the side of the Kessock ship, and therefore you're less likely to run into that ridiculously huge top shield. The only downside is you have to be a bit more accurate with your weapons fire, otherwise you'll miss.
Sir, we are being hailed.
Sovereign, their defenses are too strong. We must withdraw. We must give Commander Willis time to pull our forces off the surface. We cannot allow them to fall into enemy hands.
I remember the first couple of times when I played this mission, I was just using Savali, and when I was doing that I literally had all four Kessock vessels beaming me with their positron beams. You don't survive very long under those circumstances. I'm concentrating on the Keldon occasionally because Keldons are really easy to destroy, and therefore you lose a lot of firepower that goes against you. I'm not too sure whether I should be doing what I'm doing here and aiming for the cloaking device on the Kessock ship, because I would rather it try and cloak and me get a really easy shot at its weapons system. I'm just using quantum torpedoes whenever I have the chance here. You know, this is not a fight where you use photons. And whoa, did it just cloak just as quantum torpedoes were heading towards it? That's a dumb thing to do. Oh dear. Yeah, that ship's toast. I wouldn't call it a massive debris yet, but it's going to be very shortly. But yeah, there you go. Those torpedoes hit the top shield, and it just took 4 quantum torpedoes straight in the face, no problem. And it's going to take those as well. But fortunately we have actually burnt through that top shield. But I only have 60 quantum torpedoes, and it's very easy to run out in this fight if you just plough them into the top shields of your Kessock aggressors. One thing I do want to admit on this mission is that I ended up having to do it 3 times. Now there's a reason why I had to do it 3 times. The first time I was playing on an unpatched version of Bridge Commander. I'd forgotten to patch it, and one of the things, or one of the errors in the 1.0 version of this game was that the end point of this mission would never trigger. So I think I ended up with Kessock ship, I'm going to say I think it was Kessock ship 17 or something like that had poured into the area until I realised that the bug had happened. And at that point I was just dead and quit. The second time I completed the mission, but something went wrong with the recording. And the final time, and this is the final attempt pretty much. So at this point I'm being fueled by pure and utter frustration, as well as the fact that this is hard. Also, the Devore is about to go down, so once the Devore goes down we lose half our firepower here. The Nebula class ship doesn't really offer that much. But I'm keeping the Cardassians off the Kittimer and picking up the Kessock whenever I can. I'm just basically ordering the Devore to suicide here. I'm annoyed again at this point because I saved the Devore in, I think, the second run, but not at this point.
Sir, the Devore has been destroyed.
And yeah, I just set my sensors to 0, so go me. Yeah, that wasn't very clever. But yeah, the Kessock will just pour into the system ad infinitum here. So now it's me against the Kessock alone, and this is going to be awkward. So the Kittimer better start getting stuff off the planet quickly, because I simply can't survive against this amount of stuff. You can see how quickly those positrons eat into your shields and your hull.
Their bottom shield is draining, sir.
Fortunately, the Nebula is providing a little bit of a distraction, but it's not going to last long against the Kessock, so we really need to start getting stuff off the planet. Alright, looks like the shuttles are getting off the planet, so at least that's helping. Good, let's get out of here.
Sir, sensors indicate the shuttles have exited the planet's atmosphere.
Incoming message from Commander Willis.
Sovereign, we've made it off the planet, but our shuttles took a lot of damage. We estimate power reserves will be exhausted shortly after we engage our warp engines. However, we think we can't make it to the old system. You will have to rendezvous with us there. Willis out.
Main power is offline.
Sir, we are draining their top shield.
You don't have to tell me twice. Get those shuttles out of here, and then I can get out of here as well. Still not taking too much damage, but those shuttles better get warping soon, because I really don't want to have to... Oh god! I really don't want to have to take out, stay here too much longer, because I'm just going to absorb way too much damage.
Sir, the shuttles have warped out of the system.
We should head to Biol immediately, sir.
Yes, in fact, let's do that. Sod firing these torpedoes, get me out of here, and I will see you next time, guys, when we try and deal with this mess.